Hello everyone, Infinite Movie Recaps here. Today I'm going to show you a fantasy and action movie titled Warcraft. There will be spoilers ahead. Now sit back, relax and enjoy. An Orc chieftain named Durotan, who is the leader of the Frostwolf clan, is seen relaxing with his pregnant wife, Draka. They discuss the possible name of their son. The next day, Durotan meets with his second-in-command, Orcs, and other Orc clans. They were summoned by Gul'dan, who is their leader. Gul'dan is accompanied by a female half-Orc named Garona, who is a slave. She is used as a translator to other races. Gul'dan had amassed a lot of prisoners from other races. They were kept in cages, and one of the prisoners pleads for her son to be spared, but Gul'dan simply denies her. He says he needs their life force, which is the fuel for his green magic called the Fel. He intends to open a portal to another world and conquer it. When the preparations were complete, he drains the life force of the prisoners and uses it to open a portal to the other world called Azeroth. He only had enough prisoners to open the portal temporarily. He intends to lead the strongest Orc warriors to Azeroth and get more prisoners to boost his magic and permanently open the portal. With the portal opened, Durotan, Orcs and Draka, accompanied by other Orcs, go through the portal. Upon arriving at Azeroth, Draka suddenly goes into labor. She gives birth successfully, aided by Gul'dan, but the child is weak and dying. Gul'dan then drains the life force of a nearby deer and uses his magic to help the child. He then announces the boy as a new warrior for the Horde. Meanwhile, in Azeroth, Lothar, one of the king's commanders, is inspecting a dwarf's work in Ironforge. He is shown a mechanical gun called the Boomstick, but before he is able to inspect it, a messenger runs up to them presenting a letter from the king. The letter stated that one of the garrisons had been attacked and Lothar was needed at the king's castle immediately. Lothar meets a man found in the area where the garrison was attacked. The man, Khadgar, tries to attack him, but he is not successful. Khadgar bears the mark of the Kirintor, which is a neutral organization of the most powerful mages in Azeroth. He was a guardian novitiate, sworn to protect the realm, but renounced his vows. He requests to examine the bodies of the deceased soldiers, as he might be able to figure out what killed them. When he is examining the body, they are all shocked to see green mist pop out of the dead soldier's mouth. Khadgar then suggests that the Guardian should be summoned, and Lothar states that only the king can summon the Guardian. They ride off to the king's castle, where they meet Lothar's son, Callan, the king, Lane, and the king's wife, Lady Taria, who is also Lothar's sister. Khadgar explains that he felt something evil lurking in Azeroth, and urges the king to summon the Guardian. The king agrees and tasks Lothar and Khadgar with getting a message to the Guardian. When they arrive at the Guardian's stronghold, they are received by Morose, who takes Lothar to see the Guardian, named Medivh, at the top of the tower. Khadgar is amazed at the wealth of knowledge in the castle, and when he's inspecting the books, he sees a mysterious dark figure. He tries to get to it, but it escapes into the shelves. While searching for the figure, his Kirintor mark glows brightly in the presence of a strange book, and he takes it. Khadgar runs into Medivh, who attacks him, and only stops when Khadgar mentions the Fel. Medivh explains that the Fel is a magic that feeds on life and promises its user great power, but only twists them into something evil. Medivh then transports them into the king's castle. The king tells them that reports suggest that the attacks are being carried out by huge beasts. Lothar tells them that they need more information, probably from an enemy prisoner or even a corpse. Lothar, Medivh, and Khadgar take some scouts into the forest and attempt to track the enemies. Medivh finds traces of Fel magic in the trees, and before they know it, they are ambushed by Orcs led by Blackhand. Due to the size and strength of the Orcs, Lothar's men were easily being killed. Lothar is able to blow up one of Blackhand's arms. Khadgar uses a spell to protect himself from Medivh, while Medivh intervenes and casts a spell that targeted the Fel and the Orcs. All the green orcs were affected and started dying, except Durotan and the other orcs who were without fell magic. Seeing the danger they were in, Durotan and the other remaining men fled, with Lothar chasing after them. Durotan sees Garona, who was chained to a dead orc, and frees her. Meanwhile, as Khadgar is examining a dead orc, Garona runs into him and he traps her with his magic. Garona, who also speaks the human language, is questioned by the king. She tells him about the orcs' plan to capture as many prisoners as possible to feed their failed magic and open the green portal. She says that the orc world is dead and the horde wants to conquer this world. Back in the orc camp, Black Hand is judged by Gul'dan and sentenced to death because running away from the battle is not considered honorable in orc tradition. Durotan interrupts the execution and tells Gul'dan that the fel was used against them. But Gul'dan does not listen, believing he alone can use fel magic. This leads Durotan to start to doubt the fel and its influence. Medivh questions Garona in her cell, and she tells him that a demon told Gul'dan about the gates to Azeroth. He disappears when he hears that other people are coming to the cell. The queen brings Garona some clothes and a drink. She empathizes with Garona and asks her for help. The queen tells her that she can live freely should she choose it. Later, Lothar, Garona, and Khadgar are sent to spy on the Great Gate. At night, they exchange details about their history, and they soon start to empathize with one another. When they arrive at the gate, they spy on the orcs. Garona tells them that the green magic needs life, like fire needs wood, and when Gul'dan gets enough slaves, he will bring every single orc from their world into Azeroth. Lothar goes ahead to strategize with the king. When Garona and Khadgar are alone, Durotan secretly tracks them down and tells them to inform the king that he wants to meet him. Back in Stormwind, King Llyn gathers the leaders of all the other races in Azeroth to discuss the orc threat. The other leaders were not willing to support attacking the orcs because of their own selfish reasons. Garona delivers Durotan's message to the king. He is skeptical about it being a trap, but Garona assures him that Durotan is honorable. Durotan wants to protect his people from the fel, and he cannot succeed alone without help from the humans. The queen then gives Garona a blade to defend herself, and also to earn her trust. In the next scene, Medivh gets into Khadgar's room. When he sees the research Khadgar had been conducting regarding the fel, he burns it all. He tells Khadgar that his help is not needed. Khadgar manages to hide one page of his research in his robe. He shows it to Lothar and tells him that his research shows that someone had invited the orcs to Azeroth and also helped them. Durotan meets with King Llyn in a bid to unite the Frost clan and the humans against Gul'dan. While they are strategizing, they are ambushed by Black Hand and his men. A fierce battle ensues, with lots of casualties. Medivh casts an impenetrable magical barrier to protect King Llyn and his soldiers, then falls unconscious afterwards. Unfortunately, Callan, Lothar's son, was trapped on the other side of the barrier. Lothar watched helplessly as his son was killed by Black Hand. Later, Garona and Khadgar find Medivh unconscious at the top of a cliff and swiftly take him back to Karazhan to heal. Khadgar notices Medivh's eyes turn green briefly and deduces that he is somehow involved with fel magic. He leaves immediately and enlists the help of the Kirin-Tor. At the Orc camp, Black Hand threatens Durotan for betraying Gul'dan. Durotan then agrees to submit to Gul'dan's plans if Black Hand spares his people. He expresses his love for his wife and finally names his son Goel. Later, Ogrim meets with Gul'dan. He plans to work with Gul'dan and says that Durotan has poisoned the Frostwolf clan against fel magic. Gul'dan instead sends his men to destroy the Frostwolf clan, forcing Ogrim to save Draka. Khadgar meets with the Kirin-Tor. Although they were pissed off because he renounced his vows, they eventually listen to him. He meets with Aludai, an entity that predates the Kirin-Tor. Aludai tells him that Medivh is consumed by fel magic, and if he is not stopped, Azeroth will be destroyed. Meanwhile, in Karazhan, Moroz helps Medivh to recover. Medivh starts getting consumed by the Fel and admits that he can't control himself. He also says that he was the one who led the Orcs into Azeroth. Medivh then drains Moroz's life force and kills him. The king was considering taking a defensive stance against the Orcs, but Lothar suggests taking every soldier they have and destroy the gates so more Orcs won't come through. Medivh suddenly appears. Lothar chastises him, saying his power has been unreliable recently, and blames him for his son's death. This leads the king to send him to a cell to cool down. Garona goes to see Lothar in his cell and informs him that the king has agreed to assault the Orcs and destroy the gate. Lothar warns her not to trust Medivh and urges her to stay away from him. He tells her he doesn't want her to get hurt. She decides against staying and promises to do all she can to protect the king. At the Orc camp, Orgrim frees Durotan. He apologizes for betraying him and says that no Orc will follow Gul'dan if they see what he has become. Garona, the king, and his men prepare to ride to battle. Medivh claimed he would join them later after making some preparations in Karazhan. Khadgar finds Lothar and frees him. Lothar wanted to go after the king, but Khadgar convinces him that they had to stop Medivh in order to protect everyone in Azeroth. Draka, who was being chased by Gul'dan's men, carries her son to the river and releases him before she is killed. Durotan challenges Gul'dan to a fight to the death for the right to rule the Orc horde according to their tradition. Gul'dan accepts the challenge and they begin to fight. Meanwhile, Medivh was slowly becoming a demon and had started the incantation to open the portal to the Orcs' homeworld. This makes Gul'dan want to stop the fight and join in the incantation to open the portal. Unfortunately, Blackhand and other Orcs insist that he must respect their tradition and keep fighting. Having no other choice, he drains the life out of Durotan and kills him. Some Orcs are outraged that he would cheat and attempt to rebel against him, but he just kills them all. Then Gul'dan commands the Orcs to attack the humans who had just arrived, and a fierce battle ensues. Khadgar and Lothar arrive at Karazhan. They try to stop Medivh from reciting the incantation, but they are assaulted by a golem Medivh created. Medivh attacks Khadgar and Lothar jumps on the golem's head and manages to behead it. Lothar tries talking to Medivh, believing Medivh still had good in him, but he is grabbed by the neck and flung across the room. As Medivh was about to finish off Lothar, Khadgar transports the golem and it crashes on top of Medivh. In order to stop Medivh, Khadgar absorbs the Fel magic from him. He is almost consumed by it, but is able to resist and dispel the magic. Before he died, Medivh used the last of his energy to open a portal to Stormwind to help the humans. Seeing this, the king is glad and instructs his men and Garona to form a defensive line around the portal and help prisoners get through safely. Unfortunately, Medivh dies and the portal closes, which allows the Orcs to attack them from both sides. The humans were being killed swiftly, and Blackhand was steadily approaching the king's location to claim the honor of killing the king. With no hope left, the king tells Garona that it would do no good if they both die, and pleads with her to kill him. By killing the king, she received the respect of all the Orcs, allowing her to slowly carve a way for peace between the Orcs and the humans. Lothar arrives at the battlefield and sees the king's body and Garona's knife still lodged in him. He takes the body and attempts to ride off, but Blackhand stops him. Blackhand invokes the Orcs' Mak'gora tradition to fight him to the death. Lothar is given King Llane's sword to fight, and despite Blackhand's enormous strength, he's swiftly killed by Lothar. Having won, the Orcs show him respect and allow him to live. This angers Gul'dan, and he instructs the Orcs to kill Lothar. Garona then advises him to respect their sacred traditions, and that if he kills Lothar now, no Orc will follow him. Lothar then leaves with the king's body. Later, he shows Garona's blade to Khadgar and concludes that she is a traitor. At King Llane's funeral, all the races in Azeroth finally unite to form an alliance. They proclaim Lothar as the new leader. In the final scene, Go'el drifts in the river and is found by some humans. Let me know what you think about this movie in the comments below. And if you like my video, please hit the like button and subscribe for more. Thanks for watching.